A man was in his bedroom late at night when the stillness of the house was broken by unsettling noises. At first, he tried to ignore it, but the sounds persisted, strange enough to make him grab his phone and start filming.
Hay algo en la cocina. Algo se mueve acá. Se movió eso, creo. No jodas.
He followed the noise out of his room, the camera shaking slightly as he made his way through the dark hallway until he reached the kitchen. That's when it happened. Some form of shadow glided across a row of long, thin objects that were propped up inside, brushing past them with an eerie presence. Just seconds later, they all came crashing down, filling the kitchen with a loud clatter. The man froze, clearly rattled, before quickly backing out of the room. With no one else in the house, and no way to explain how a shadow could physically interact with objects, the moment left him more shaken than ever. It was yet another chilling reminder that he wasn't alone. Rojo, a ghost hunter known for chasing down some of the most unnerving locations, set his sights on a school he strongly suspected was haunted. The building had long been rumored to hold on to dark energy, and he wanted to prove it for himself. With his equipment ready and camera rolling, he stepped inside the empty halls.
Estoy solo, no hay nadie, no hay ningún carro, nomás está la mía. Si vieron, alguien pasó allá. ¿Escucharon? Oigan, miren, no sé si alcancen a ver ahí en la ventana. Ahí, que se vea, ¿sí ven? Ven. ¿Sí alcanzan a ver la sombra?
Almost immediately, shadows began appearing, not the kind caused by flickering lights or passing cars, but movements that seemed deliberate and intelligent, which is exactly what you would expect from a spirit. Determined to follow the activity, Rojo moved toward one of the classrooms. After spotting a shadow darting across the doorway, he pushed the door open and stepped inside cautiously. Just as he entered, a chair flew to the floor with force, startling him so badly he almost dropped his camera. The empty classroom was silent again, but the message was clear. Something inside that school did not want him there. The YouTube channel Exploration Unknown, with over 160,000 subscribers, took their audience along for another chilling adventure, this time exploring the haunted house of 7 Islands. Known for its dark history and eerie legends, the house had long been on their list of must-visit places. The team was setting up their equipment when one of them began casually recording an introduction for viewers.
Wow, that is beautiful. Oh, somebody's coming out. No, it's Tim.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you ruined my moonshot, bro.
Oh, man.
I already got it, though. It's all good. It's beautiful, man. Okay. Alright guys, we've got the K2 meter over here in this window. We're getting things set up. Alright. And then in Alright. And then in here.
As he walked through the house explaining that the team was setting up, the camera panned past the staircase. At that very moment, the shadow of a pair of shadow-looking legs could be seen walking across the top of the stairs, hidden behind the banister. Nobody else was supposed to be upstairs, and the rest of the team were accounted for on the ground floor. The figure never appeared again, but the fleeting shadow was enough to leave the crew and their viewers deeply unsettled. It was one of those moments that couldn't be explained away easily, and for exploration unknown, it confirmed that the haunted house of 7 Islands truly lived up to its terrifying reputation. The Japanese YouTube channel Fourth Wall, with over 260,000 subscribers, is well known for capturing unsettling encounters in some of the country's most haunted places. In one of their investigations, the team had been focusing on a room on the upper floor of a notoriously eerie facility, a spot they already suspected was charged with strange energy. Standing outside in the darkness, the cameraman tilted his lens up toward the window, talking about it. But just as he panned the shot back down, something unexpected happened. In the shadows of a doorway, a figure could be seen walking past. At first glance, it looked like a person, but the mannerisms and the way it acted, detached from the environment, made it an evident ghost. Many agreed it was one of the clearest ghostly captures the channel had ever recorded. Daniel Perez had grown used to the strange happenings in his home, but instead of ignoring them, he decided it was time to finally catch something on film. He set up in his kitchen, holding his camera steady as he spoke about the spirit he was certain lived alongside him.
En la cocina me dijeron que cuando vuelva a sentir otra vez ruidos, diga unas palabras para que se vaya. Y bueno, voy a decirlas ahora. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Ay, la puta madre. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Andate de mi casa.
For a while, nothing happened, just the ordinary quiet of the house. Then, suddenly, a pot was hurled to the floor with force, clattering loudly across the tiles. Daniel jumped at the sound, but kept the camera rolling, determined to show everything as it unfolded. Moments later, one of the kitchen cupboards creaked open by itself, fast and deliberate, as if something unseen wanted to make its presence known. Daniel's clip quickly spread online, with viewers agreeing that it was far too direct to be anything but paranormal. For him, the activity was further proof that his suspicions had been right all along. His home wasn't empty, and the spirit inside clearly wanted attention. An 11-year-old girl had been insisting for weeks that her house was haunted, but her parents brushed it off as imagination. Determined to prove she was right, she waited for the next urge of activity, listening carefully until the familiar sounds returned. Camera in hand, she sprinted upstairs, ready to capture it once and for all.
You know how I told you my house is haunted? Yeah, it's happening. What should I do? Should I go in there? I don't know if I should go in there. That door closed. It's just closed. I'm gonna turn the lights on. It's opening. It's opening. Should I go in there? I'll go in there. Nothing here. Like, what? There's nothing here. What do I do? Like, there's nothing here. But you saw that, so what should I do?
At the top of the landing, she caught clear footage of a door swinging open and slamming shut on its own, over and over, with no one nearby. Nervously, she flicked the light switch on and ran toward the room, pushing the door open to show the empty space behind it. There was nothing inside, no strings, no tricks. Just a room that should have been still, but wasn't. For a girl her age, the courage to chase down the activity left viewers stunned, and for her parents, the clip was undeniable proof that she hadn't been making things up. The very next day, the girl's mother was going about her usual routine, still unconvinced, despite the strange footage her daughter had shown her the night before. But while she was tidying up, something caught her eye.
Did you hear that? Whoa. Why is that thing moving? Okay. Hello? Hello? Okay. This side of the basement always freaks me out. Hello? Oh my god. I know, I just stopped that thing.
An underwear hanger nearby began swaying back and forth on its own, slow at first, and then with more force. She stopped what she was doing and went to check it, running her hands along the octopus hanger to show there was nothing that could have been tampering with it. Puzzled, she walked around the room, softly calling out, "Hello," as if testing whether something would answer. When she turned back, the hanger was moving again, just as unnaturally as before. This time, she froze, realizing her daughter might have been telling the truth all along. The family now had more than one strange moment on tape, leaving them questioning what exactly had settled into their home. Ghost Golden Guns was relaxing in front of the TV late one night when that uneasy feeling crept back into the house. Tired of ignoring it, he called out, asking if anyone was there.
Yo, what up? Ghost Golden Guns over here, and I'm going live right now because that's why. Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? What the f? What the Who is out? Oh my god. Oh my goodness, what the Hello? Who is there? Oh my goodness, please stop. What the Please stop. Please stop. This is my house. Leave. Leave. This is my house. You're not allowed here. Leave. Oh my goodness. Hello. Oh my goodness.
Almost immediately, the kitchen beside him erupted with a series of unexplainable noises and movements, far too deliberate to pass off as coincidence. He stood frozen for a moment, the weight of the situation setting in, before finally working up the courage to shout at whatever it was, demanding it to get out. Gathering himself, he walked into the kitchen with his camera still rolling. Just as he thought the activity had calmed, one of the cupboards creaked open on its own. It was the final straw for him that night. Rather than keep pushing, he turned away and decided to go to sleep, hoping that by morning the presence would be gone. For viewers, the video was another chilling sign that something inside his home wasn't finished with him yet. Two friends were spending time at a house one of them owned when things started to feel off. One of them mentioned a cold chill, and the other decided to start filming just in case.
Did you just experience something?
Bro, I swear to God, dude, I felt something really cold.
Really? What?
Dude, what the Oh my God.
What the Oh shit! Dude, I kid you not, there's like literally nobody in there. What the dude?
What follows is a chaotic few seconds. Loads of strange things begin happening rapidly, all on camera, building up to the most shocking moment when two objects fly off the kitchen counter on their own. There's no one else in the house, and nothing around that could have caused it. The owner of the home was left speechless watching it back. This wasn't just creaky floors or strange feelings. Something in the house wanted to make itself known. Yama, a passionate ghost hunter from China, had always chased the thrill of the unexplained. One night, he decided to explore a well-known abandoned house where the previous owner had passed away under unclear circumstances. He brought his camera, as usual, ready to document. While walking through the quiet halls, Yama stepped out of one room, and that's when the tapping began. Rhythmic, deliberate, and coming from behind him. Suddenly, an item launched itself off a shelf and hit the floor hard. Yama rushed back in and searched the entire space, filming every corner. There was no one there. Nothing. He laughed it off in the moment, chalking it up to old wood and imagination, but admits that was the one time he felt like maybe he wasn't alone. Even if he says he's still skeptical, Yama hasn't been back since. Angel Martinez had always been fascinated by the paranormal. Exploring haunted and abandoned places had become a personal hobby, and when he heard stories about an old school at the edge of town, one that had been closed for years and surrounded by rumors of strange activity, he knew he had to see it for himself. On a cloudy night, he showed up with his camera and began filming from the outside. Almost immediately, he noticed something odd. Despite the school being disconnected from any power source, several lights inside were flickering on and off in a pattern that didn't feel random. He stayed outside for a while, trying to make sense of it, but eventually curiosity got the better of him.
Y esta sería la última aula que revisa en el rondín. Ah, como pueden ver, pues está un poco descuidada porque aquí han guardado las cosas que el colegio antes usaba. Escuché algo, pero no sé qué fue. Bueno, fue la 100 puta. Uy, fue la 100 puta. No joda. Ojalá que lo haya grabado. Ojalá que lo haya grabado.
Once inside, the air was heavy and the silence was sharp. Angel moved carefully through the dusty corridors, speaking softly into the camera as he filmed. Then it happened. A plastic chair in the middle of the room slid across the floor, not once, but twice. First a short scrape, then a sudden, more forceful slide. Angel froze for a moment, disbelief written all over his face, before turning and running out of the building as fast as he could. After the incident, Angel shared the video online, expecting people to dismiss it as fake or exaggerated. Instead, it gained unexpected traction, and many began messaging him about similar stories tied to that same school. While Angel hasn't gone back, he's now considering working with a small team to return and investigate further. A woman on TikTok who goes by the online alias Cello had noticed strange activity from her dog over the past few weeks. It was almost as if it sensed an unearthly presence in the house, and we all know that dogs are great with their senses. Cello took this into account and put great effort into working out what could be triggering this until finally she was exposed to it. Constant knocking, people called her crazy, and all sorts of unkind things, but eventually she proved them out. All wrong with video evidence alongside something else.
Okay, I'm so crazy, right? Here you go. Baby is terrified. Hold on. I know. You're okay. You're okay. I know.
Not only was the dog in discomfort again, but the door was caught opening and closing by itself just shortly after Cello left the camera to film. Of course, the dog chose to be brave and went to investigate, but the reaction from Cello was far different. She refused to go anywhere near the door until someone of high expertise came to check, but due to financial struggles, she is not able to seek professional assistance. In case she sees this, make sure to offer your advice in the comments. The following set of videos were caught in the Netherlands by a woman called Sabia, and her story is truly on the terrifying ends of things. About 3 months ago, Sabia had no belief in the paranormal world whatsoever, but one day, her now ex-boyfriend asked her to visit a haunted location together. Without any fear or second guessing, she accepted the offer and was excited to laugh at how pathetic the fake hauntings were, and it lived up to her expectations. Whilst there, Sabia didn't become frightened once, and came up with reasons why everything was anything but a ghost. However, little did she know that when the duo arrived home, things would get weird.
Fuck, daar gaan we weer. Oh, shit. Die deur. Stil. Dat is dat vieze, creepy ass keukentje. Kijk, dat bedoel ik dus. Dat is het licht. Varkje komt dus. Is hier dus. Dit is dus het lichtknopje. Het is helemaal niet. Deze deur is gewoon dicht. Er is hier gewoon echt helemaal niemand. Fuck. Zie je zo'n ding? Kijk. Dat bedoel ik dus. Oh my god. Er is hier echt helemaal niemand. Oh fuck. Nou. Dit is het weer, hè?
Sabia's boyfriend at the time was fast asleep, and she saw the door to the room move on its own accord, so decided to get out of bed. Cautiously, she walked around until she saw the light of the kitchen flashing at a consistent basis. Worried, she approached the scene, but nothing was in there, making her go back to bed defeated. After some pondering, she came to the conclusion that her boyfriend was the culprit behind this, and deemed it as a prank. Since she was the one paying the most rent for the household, she told him that he was staying at his dad's tonight, and he listened, so she had it all to herself, which should have resulted in peace and quiet. But unfortunately, this was not the case, and this happened. The craziest part about this isn't even what happened, but the fact it proved the innocence of Sabia's boyfriend. The fact the hauntings were so prominent as well, with many items moving on their own, meant that whatever actually was behind all this torment was a powerful thing, and forced her to believe that ghosts were in fact real. Sabia called her boyfriend immediately, who broke up with her for not putting her trust in her, despite how much he denied that he pranked her. This meant the next night was another night alone for her, but without the anticipation of peace and quiet.
Fucking licht elke keer. Oh. Dat was een stem. Dat was een stem. Oh, Jezus. Wat is dat? Oh, what the fuck, joh.
Again, strange things happened, with the most prominent being the voice that was heard. Sabia had no children, and the voice of a little girl echoed around the house, but at least this let her identify what was actually haunting her. The weird thing was that she had never been in association with somebody of that age, so it couldn't be someone from her life. With no means of true escape, Sabia asked her father, which is ironic considering her boyfriend's situation, to stay over there, and he said yes. Unfortunately, sleep wasn't even possible at his place due to constant notifications from her camera. At almost midnight, the house was going crazy, and it really is saddening to see. I wish Sabia the best of luck in escaping this spirit. The loss was recent, and the pain still hung in the air like fog. Two brothers had been tasked with something no one ever wants to do, choosing a coffin. They walked into the quiet showroom of a local funeral home, unsure of what to say to each other, still processing everything. While one of them waited outside, the other stepped into a small side room lined with display pieces.
Miren, como tenemos rato escuchando ruidos aquí en esta zona. Si vemos, pues está solo. Y creemos que pues hay algo aquí, porque pues se empiezan a mover así como que medio raro. Miren, 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 miren. Miren cómo se mueve, miren, 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 miren. Miren cómo se mueve. No hay nada. No hay nada, no hay nada, no hay nada. Está mi compañero, pero pues si vemos estamos solos.
As he looked around, the head hatch of one of the coffins creaked slightly open on its own, barely a few inches, and then continued to make slight movements. Startled, he paused, watching it for a moment before walking over to check. But when he opened the lid fully, no one was there. Nothing was inside, just empty silence. He quietly left the room and didn't say anything right away. Only later did he mention it to his brother, and even then, he kept it short. Neither of them believed in anything supernatural, but for a second, it felt like something or someone had been trying to say goodbye. Could it have been their mother who passed away? The video was posted by the Source 90, a crew member aboard a small research vessel crossing the Atlantic with a team of scientists conducting a long-term study on deep-sea acoustics. Most of the content from their trip showed the usual calm waves, equipment checks, and life on board. But one night, everything changed.
Can you hear me? Yo, that shit was instantaneous, bro. Oh, I gotta watch my step out here, man. God damn. Where are you? Oh, that's over here. Wait, no, now it's there.
Around midnight, he picked up the camera, whispering about something strange. He asked questions such as, "Can you hear me?" while panning across the dark, empty ocean. The others were below deck, but he'd stepped out after hearing what he described as screams. After beckoning whatever it was to answer him, the sound came from all directions though. The video went viral, with viewers arguing over whether it was the wind, a deep-sea mammal, or something else entirely. A few nights later, he uploaded again.
So I went out on deck to see what it was.
Yo, what is that? What the f is that? We got another one over here? What are those? On each side of the boat? What are those trails called? What's something swimming fast underneath that water? Something swimming real fast underneath that water.
He'd been asleep in his cabin when loud bangs on the deck woke him. At first, he stayed in bed, thinking maybe someone dropped something, but the banging kept happening. Eventually, he grabbed the camera and went up. The deck was almost empty, with a few equally confused scientists there with him. But in the water on both sides of the boat, large water trails were keeping perfect pace with the vessel. The scientists were called up and briefly seen in the background debating what the creatures could be, but none of them could make a confident ID. Some commenters suggested this may be the cause of the paranormal world, but others weren't so sure this was just a case of nerves. After that last encounter, the team spent the next few days in relative peace. The weather was calm, equipment functioned normally, and even the Source 90 admitted in a short update that things felt back to normal. With their destination just a few days away, spirits were higher, and whatever had happened earlier began to feel like a strange but isolated experience. But just when the possibility of a haunting had finally slipped from his mind, everything changed again.
Source 90, and we just out here. We're chilling. We're out here chilling. I hear it. I hear him. Where's she at? What the fuck is that noise, bro? What is that noise? Where are you?
He was relaxing near the stern of the vessel, casually filming a moment of downtime when it started. The screaming, this time louder, clearer, and seemingly everywhere at once. He walked around the entire deck of the boat, trying to catch a source, but the sound moved with the wind, so no direction made sense. It was this fact that made this incident far more frightening for him, and what began as intrigue had shifted into something far more personal. They had a fear that whatever they'd encountered wasn't random and might not be finished yet, with one more suspicion. What if these were mermaids? Another upload came just a few hours later, and this one shook the comments section in a different way. The research team had been using a bait rig to collect samples as part of their study and caught a small haul of fish just before sunrise. While sorting through them with another crew member, the Source 90 noticed something odd mixed in with the pile.
What's good? Source 90. Don't mind the hair. A little curly today. I have something to show y'all. Peep game! So I was fishing on this fishing trip, right? And something came up in the dredge. That looks like a tail to me. Looks like a tail of a bone to me. I'm gonna take that bone and go to the local university, which is UMass, go to their marine biology department, and find out what the it is, because I don't know about you, I'm curious. I got some questions.
Look at that.
Holding the camera close, he picks up what looks like a slender, pale bone, curved unnaturally and shaped in a way that resembled the lower end of a fin or tail. At first, he laughed it off, thinking it was a deformed fish part or some leftover cartilage, but as he turned it over and showed the detail, the tone of the video shifted. The Source 90 looked at the camera and explained how he was going to get this properly identified at the local university. Since posting, theories have spiraled. Was it a rare deep-sea creature, a leftover artifact from some shipwrecked species, or worse, something tied to those sounds they kept hearing? The discovery brought a whole new layer of fear, not just of the unknown, but of the possibility that the unknown had left something behind. When they touched back to land, he decided to visit a whale museum to get answers about the strange bone.
So today was the day. I got a call back from the whaling museum, and they had an expert there who was willing to talk to me about the bone that I had found. But look at that, man. Look at those big monstrous animals. Look at those bones. That's crazy.
I think. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
He was there taking a whole bunch of photos, measuring the thing, emailing certain other people that he knows who might have other insight on it. Yeah, everybody's saying they never seen nothing like it. Usually the bones that come up are like vertebrae and stuff, but nobody's seen anything like this.
Take a photo. Bob asked me to take a photo of it.
Absolutely. You've never seen anything like this?
No. I don't know what it is.
That's crazy. You don't know what it is.
In the clip, an expert carefully examines it, but admits they can't identify what it is. No clear explanation, so maybe it really is something unknown, perhaps a mermaid after all, but we'll probably never truly know. A group gathered to pray together, each believing deeply in their own innocence. None of them thought they had done enough wrong to ever become a victim of paranormal activity. They were calm, united by their faith, and the hope that their pure intentions would keep them safe. But then, something chilling happened. One of the statues in the room, still and lifeless moments before, suddenly moved its fingers. The slow, subtle motion was eerily creepy, breaking the calm atmosphere and leaving the few who spotted it really frightened. They decided not to inform the group who were praying, however, because it was not something worth disturbing prayer. They asked the group to pray more about revoking demons just in case something truly was out to get them. Let's just hope it works. Ian, better known online as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, has been featured on this channel countless times, visiting some of the scariest and most notoriously haunted places across the country. In this clip, he decided to explore a reportedly haunted theater completely alone. The place had a heavy history and had been abandoned for years, but Ian, as usual, seemed more curious than scared.
Else you can do in this office to let me know that you are here? Could you move one of your books? Something on this shelf?
As he was filming near an old desk, 2 orbs suddenly appeared and floated across the frame, subtle but clearly visible. Seconds later, a nearby chair shifted on its own, sliding just a few inches without any apparent cause. Ian froze, whispering a reaction under his breath before moving in to inspect the area. Nothing and no one else was there. After leaving the theater, he admitted the place felt heavier than most he's visited, and wasn't sure if it was just haunted or something worse. Subscribe for future clips with Ian. The Alchemist Theater is a haunted location in Wisconsin, but Phil Koch had something to say about that. He always believed in the paranormal world, but never bought into this specific place being a part of it, and wanted to disprove his own thoughts. This is why Mr. Koch decided to visit the location with good enough gear to capture evidence and force himself to believe that the Wisconsin Alchemist Theater was, in fact, haunted. This is the evidence that he was able to uncover.
I've been sitting here for a while. Nothing going on. What the hell? Something just moved. Something just moved behind me. Jeez. Something just moved behind me. Jeez. Okay. I don't know. See anything? Have a look here. Oh crap! I don't know if that seat was down. I have no idea. All the seats are up in this theater. This one's down. Huh.
Strangely, the seat behind Phil Koch moved on its own accord, and it was almost as if the spirit had decided to join him in taking a seat. This spooked Phil to the maximum, who investigated the surrounding area of the seat to be certain that nothing caused it, and as expected, there was nothing. One conclusion was drawn from this: the Alchemist Theatre was really haunted, and the hunter had to leave before they became the hunted. Phil walked home that night in constant fear that he was being watched, and he couldn't identify why this feeling was overpowering his others. It wasn't as if anybody else was there with him. Fortunately, he was able to make it all the way back home without anything out of the ordinary happening. But that does not mean nothing happened in his own home. He had only been relaxing for 10 minutes when this piece of footage was captured.
So I'm in my bunker. Nobody's home. And Michael and I were talking about how we think the house is haunted again. Things are falling down and weird stuff. So, I'm calling out all ghosts. All ghosts. Is there somebody here? Say something into this little microphone here. My regular recorder isn't working. Go ahead. Say something loud. You know. Jesus! Something loud. You know. Jesus! Oh, crap. That scared the crap out of me. Okay, stuff is falling down. I thought, what the hell fell down? I saw everything fall off the shelf. Okay. Talking to the thing. Jeez, what the hell is... Anything else? I wonder if I'm getting any EVPs. This is why I got out of the ghost hunting business. This kind of stuff just freaks me out. Anybody else want to do anything while I'm here? Mary's gonna be so pissed. Alright. Anything? Don't throw anything at me. You can come to the damn party. I don't care. You're here. Stay. Scare my guests. Just don't scare me. And now I gotta pick this stuff up. Stupid ghosts. Alright. Fine. I gotta watch this and see exactly what happened. Goodbye.
This time around, items inside of Phil's home fell to the ground, and as an experienced man in the field, he knew exactly what had happened. A ghost of some form penetrated the house, and there was one likely conclusion. It must have been the one from the theater. Sometimes spirits have the tendency to attach to people who visit their locations and haunt them for life. I am sure that Phil Koch will find a way to detach it, though. On June the 23rd of 2014, a teenage boy was in his room when he got the sudden urge to start filming. His room had been acting weird recently, with random objects falling from shelves unprompted. It is not what you want to see at all. Anyway, back to the sudden urge to film. The boy gave in and took out his phone to see what he could catch on camera, and he expected the poltergeist to get a tad bit camera shy. But this is the opposite of what actually occurred.
Been hearing noises again. It's happening as usual. See? Daylight this time. Coming from over there. Couldn't see it. Old PlayStation games fell down. stupid is this? Oh, I'm sick and tired of doing this. Sorry about the angle. That's what I have to put up with. Oh. What's in the move again? Mate, what the f is going on? Fucking stupid. Fucking battery's dying. Fucking battery. Oh my god, it's bad.
Instead of turning shy and not causing anything to happen at all, the ghost started constantly launching CDs to the ground, and it was some scary stuff. The boy fortunately stayed strong and kept putting them back where they belonged, but no matter what he did, they ended up back on the floor. He is currently in talks with his parents trying to make them believe him, so I send him all of the luck that I can possibly offer. Leandro was home alone one night while his mother was out at a party. The house was quiet, but something about the silence felt off. He couldn't shake the sensation that he wasn't really alone, like the air itself had changed. It wasn't fear exactly, it was more like pressure, a weight he couldn't explain. To calm himself, he grabbed his phone and began filming, hoping that recording would make him feel more in control.
Veja o que aconteceu na minha casa, às 3h15 da madrugada.
Faz horas que eu tô ouvindo um barulho aqui, então eu resolvi filmar pra vocês. Não sei, mas parece que tinha alguém, sei lá, fazendo um barulho, mexendo aqui na varanda de casa. Eu tô sozinho hoje. Minha mãe saiu, foi lá pra minha tia. Hoje eu tô sozinho, então...
Tinha alguma coisa mexendo na chave da porta.
Quando eu tô sozinho. Hã? Oi? A chave tá balançando. Olha só, não para. Gente, olha só, eu vou acender até a luz. Olha isso. Olha só, cara, que sinistro. Ela fica mexendo e não para. Ó, eu vou ficar até longe, ó. Olha lá. Não para de mexer. Olha isso, cara. Eu tô ouvindo um barulho, eu tô achando... Acho que é isso, a chave tava mexendo, não sei. Olha, não para. Ai, credo, velho, que susto. Nossa, sinistro essas horas, velho. Acho que não tem ninguém acordado essas horas. Só eu, aqui dentro de casa. Eu vou dormir com a luz acesa hoje, quero nem saber. Eu odeio dormir sozinho em casa, odeio. Não tem motoqueiro na rua ainda. Mas tem uma coisa que eu detesto, é dormir sozinho em casa. Cara, mas que sinistro. Que isso, cara? Olha isso. Olha aí, o ventilador. Tá doido e tá desligado, tá fora da tomada. Deixa eu acender o... Ó. Olha isso. Olha lá. Não, tá de brincadeira comigo, né? Olha aqui. Tá fora da tomada ela. Ah não, velho. Na moral mesmo. Tá de brincadeira mesmo, né?
In the footage, some keys start moving all by themselves, jingling in slow, unnatural motions. Leandro opens the door to check behind it, but there's nothing there. Just as he steps back into the sitting room, the orange fan behind the door begins to spin, even though it's clearly unplugged. His voice in the video shakes a little, caught between disbelief and panic. After the clip ends, Leandro puts the phone down and starts walking through the house, checking every corner, but it's the same story. No one's there. He calls his mum to tell her what happened, but she doesn't really know what to say. That night, he didn't sleep much. The clip was real, the fan moved, the keys moved. He's now starting to think whatever's in that house isn't just a presence, it might be aware of him. On a recent video on this channel, we looked into a household with a haunted pantry, and the poor owners had no idea what steps to take to eradicate the spirit from their home. It was a huge, everyday disturbance, and would do strange things such as show itself as an apparition behind the glass door, or physically open it, and they had enough. One day, the father decided to call a ghost hunting agency to come over and try to figure out the spirit's motivations whilst he stayed with his girlfriend. And once they arrived, this is what their camera caught.
What? Okay, we just got off the phone with the agent. Okay. Now we're going back to the location to see if anything has changed with the pantry door. It's still closed. Still closed. As you can see, this is the actual house. Whether or not I can see something in there is...
Oh my god. I swear it's some movement. I swear it's some movement.
In the door, I thought that was just a reflection.
Upon their first glance into the house, they spotted something behind the pantry, and it immediately confirmed that the house owner was not raising any false alarms. Now all that they needed to do was develop a strategy of how to approach things. After literally 5 minutes of thinking, they managed to conjure one up, and with that solved, they approached the pantry.
dick.
Let's go to the house.
Yeah. Back it up here. Ready to go. I was just kidding, dude. It's like 12:33. I'm just kidding. We should. Yeah, let me hold one, dude.
It's brighter. Let me adjust it.
Sure, you can keep one on the pantry.
The door is closed, right?
Keep it up. Keep the door open, dude. Keep it open when we go upstairs. Is that how it works? Yo, we're going upstairs. No ghost at 12:34. You chilling there? We should leave out the front. Alright, or do you want to move the way? Anyone up here?
Chris. Chris, where'd you go? Did you open the pantry? Did you just open the pantry? Is it open? I heard the pop.
You want to go check it out?
Let's go check it out.
I think the ghost opened the pantry, dude. There's food in there, though. No way.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I heard it. I told you. Oh my god.
That's gnarly, dude. Dude, you didn't open it? That's pretty nice.
Oh my god, I fucking told you I heard it.
Dude, that's cool. I'm going back in.
Chris, I'm out of here, Monas. Let's go. I'm out of here.
Do you want to lock it, though?
Did you not hear it? Did you not?
I heard it. I heard it open, dude. That's pretty gnarly.
For quite some time, it seemed that the group would not be able to antagonize the pantry ghost into doing anything spooky for their entertainment. Sometimes ghosts are intelligent enough to realize that the people present are not victims, rather people preying on its downfall, so they stay a bit low-key. But when the crew all went upstairs, it couldn't resist. The pantry door opened itself obnoxiously loudly, as if the spirit was trying to lure the group back downstairs. If this was its overall goal with this sudden movement, though, it was a success because everybody wanted to make sure this was on camera, and coming down led to even more footage. The spirit had awoken.
a.m. 12:03 a.m.
Oh my God.
This was a huge compilation of what the crew were able to capture on that fateful night, and if anyone was in denial of a spiritual presence beforehand, then they should definitely have come to terms with it now. The group are now working with the house owner to come up with possible solutions on how to actually banish the spirit, which is the hard part of the investigation. Make sure to wish them some luck in the comments in case one of them manages to stumble across this video. Regardless, I send my luck. Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, is known for his expeditions to all sorts of haunted places, and the clip that I am about to expose your poor eyes to is from one of these adventures. Ian was visiting a haunted theater all by himself for his YouTube audience, and for quite some time, absolutely nothing happened. Eventually, he stumbled across the largest seating room in the entire complex, though, and this is when he realized somebody or something was in the room alongside him.
Hello? Is there somebody up there? Okay. All right. I gotta go up there. I'm hearing weird noises up there. Hello? Who's up there? If you're up there, could you make another sound? Okay. There's all kinds of weird noises going on up there, so I'm gonna go up there right now and see what's going on. I thought I may have heard somebody up here. Who's up here right now? I know for sure I heard some weird noises up here, and I'm the only one in this building. So, who would be making those noises? That's why I like ghost hunting alone. Because anytime I hear something, I know for sure it's not a person.
A metal clang could be heard when he asked for any sign of presence, and he immediately went up the stairs to check. As expected, nothing was up there, so subscribe to continue this story in the next video. The nursing home where she worked reception had always had a reputation in town, the kind of place people whispered about but never openly discussed. Residents would sometimes talk about seeing people in their rooms who weren't really there, and more than one nurse had quit after hearing voices in empty hallways. The building itself was old, with long corridors and dim lighting that seemed to swallow sound, and at night it carried an atmosphere that was almost unbearable. She'd gotten used to ignoring the strange things she heard during her shifts, but deep down she knew there was something wrong with the place.
Estaba haciendo en vivo aquí en el asilo de ancianos. Y se estaban escuchando muchos ruidos. Y mucha gente, cuando me acercaba a la silla de ruedas, notaba que algo se miraba, algo se escuchaba. Vamos a ver la silla de ruedas. No mames. ¿Viste eso? Cuando estaba haciendo el en vivo y yo me acercaba aquí a la silla de ruedas, se cortaba, se escuchaba mucho interferencia, se escuchaban voces esto. Vean. No sé si miraste cómo se movió. Cuando estaba haciendo el en vivo y yo me acercaba aquí, se cortaba. Se escuchaban demasiadas voces. A mí no me gustan las sillas de ruedas porque yo sé que ahí hay mucha energía. No hay nadie en el pasillo. Escucha. Escucharon pasos para allá. Ay. ¿Escuchan? Escucha que cerraron la puerta. No sé si escucharon la puerta. Pero aquí siempre hay actividad. Es la primera vez que veo una silla de ruedas aquí. Ponme un comentario si lograste mirar cómo se movió la silla de ruedas. Si es que viste.
In her recording, she explained that a wheelchair had been moving on its own, and as if to prove her point, it suddenly rolled backwards slowly into the middle of the hall. As the camera kept rolling, noises echoed down the corridor, unsettling and unexplainable. Moments later, a door at the far end slammed shut, even though nobody else was supposed to be on the floor. She admitted afterward that this was the first time she truly believed the stories the residents and staff had been whispering all along, and though she tried to finish her shift, she left that night shaken and swore she would never work another late shift again. Beerka and her husband had always been wary of one particular doll sitting on their shelf, a hand-me-down passed through the family that carried a strange history. It was originally gifted to her grandmother, but everyone who'd owned it since claimed it brought nothing but unease with odd noises, cold drafts, and the sensation of being watched. Beerka had always laughed it off, keeping the doll tucked away among other decorations in their living room.
Kiss? It's not a kiss, Easel. Come on, kiss.
Oh well. She tries.
In one video, her husband was filming her as she played around with their pet bird, leaning in to kiss it and laughing while the camera caught the wholesome moment. What Beerka didn't realize was that just behind her, the doll on the shelf shifted on its own, caught clearly in the frame. For extra proof, they later showed another clip of the doll, moving randomly at a different time, confirming it wasn't a coincidence. Shaken by the realization that the family heirloom might actually be cursed, Beerka has already made plans to get rid of it entirely, convinced that keeping it any longer could put her and her family in danger. Ethan had been working at the sneaker store for a couple of years and loved every minute of it. The thrill of new releases, the energy of customers hunting for the latest drops, and the small joy of arranging the shelves just right made it more than just a job. It was a passion. Most evenings were quiet, giving him time to tidy up or just enjoy the calm after a busy day. One day, while the store was completely empty, Ethan was leaning against the counter scrolling through his phone when something caught his eye on the CCTV monitor. A sneaker on one of the higher shelves suddenly toppled to the floor, clattering loudly despite no one being inside. Startled, he sprinted into the storage room for a moment to collect himself, then cautiously returned to the spot. After a few deep breaths, he picked up the sneaker and carefully placed it back on the shelf, still shaken, but trying to rationalize what had just happened. Despite the unsettling moment, Ethan's love for the job didn't waver, though he couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that lingered in the empty store. The story is easy to continue, leaving room for whatever strange encounter might happen next. The next morning, Ethan arrived at the store to begin his shift, still unsettled from the previous night. As he walked in, his eyes immediately landed on a crock lying on the floor, one that had definitely not been there when he locked up. Confused and slightly alarmed, he checked the CCTV footage from the night before. The video clearly showed the sneaker sliding off its shelf and hitting the floor, seemingly on its own, with no one else in the store. Unsure of what to do, Ethan reported the incident to his manager, explaining everything exactly as he saw it. We have no clue what happened after this interaction, but hopefully he got the help he deserves. Marty had been noticing strange things in his home for quite some time, mostly little oddities he couldn't explain. For weeks, the door to his bedroom seemed to move on its own, the handle twisting or rattling as if someone or something were trying to get in. One night, determined to finally capture it on camera, he grabbed his phone and started filming, moving around the room quickly to show that it was completely empty.
It's fucked up, look. Right, I'm going to try and prove this time. I'm going to round the room as quick as I can and prove that no one is in this room. Hang on. How to explain that?
The door handle twisted and turned on its own, but when he stepped inside the room, there was absolutely nothing there. After reviewing the footage, Marty felt a mix of relief and unease. It was clear that whatever had been causing the door to move was real, or at least unexplainable by normal means. He started setting up extra cameras around the house to see if he could capture more activity, and kept a notebook to record the times and patterns of the occurrences. Friends and family were skeptical, but he insisted on documenting everything, hoping to eventually make sense of it. Despite the lingering fear, Marty became more cautious in his home, double-checking doors and windows, and even occasionally leaving a light on at night. The experience left him both fascinated and wary, knowing that the strange activity could return at any moment. Rosanna had been having a fairly quiet night, the kind where everything felt normal and predictable. That is, until she was woken by the sound of a baby crying. Groggy and confused, she got out of bed to check, only to find her laptop in the living room playing the crying sounds, something she hadn't opened or touched. What happened next was horrifying, so take a look. Heart pounding, she followed the noise to the next room. That's when she saw it, a doll, hovering unnaturally in the air, staring at her. After locking eyes with it for a few tense seconds, the doll suddenly dropped to the floor. Shaken, Rosanna stepped into the room to get a closer look, but as soon as she did, the door slammed shut behind her, leaving her trapped in there for a moment. She later admitted that the experience left her rattled, and she began considering professional help to understand what was happening in her home. Ian is still in the abandoned theater that he has been in for several of my videos now, ghost hunting. The air felt colder than before, and the familiar creaks of the old building seemed amplified in the empty space. As he cautiously set down a still camera, a sudden mist appeared briefly on a chair, lingering just long enough to make him freeze. Moments later, another unexplained glow emerged from a different chair across the room, faint but unmistakable against the darkness. Finally, a drifting light seemed to leave the room entirely, moving toward the hall before fading out of view. Ian left the room shaken, but more determined than ever to uncover the truth behind its eerie occurrences. Ever since he was young, Marcus had been fascinated with the underground. He loved the stillness, the echoes, and the sense of mystery that came with exploring places most people would never see. Over the years, he had taken up caving as a hobby, often bringing his loyal dog along for company. On this particular day, he decided to explore a cave system he hadn't visited before, curious to see what secrets it might hold. With only his headlamp and his dog's eager excitement to guide the way, they ventured deep inside.
Out. Come here. Come on. Come on. Go. Misty. see about this, Misty. Keep looking. Stay behind me. What the fuck is that? Oh shit. Go. Come on, Missy. Come on, Missy.
The footage shows them carefully making their way through narrow passages until they eventually reach a dead end, where dozens of bats hang above, prompting Marcus to turn around. After walking back for only a short time, the beam of his light catches something ahead, a tall, human-like figure standing in the darkness. It was far too unnatural in movement and presence to be anything ordinary. Without a second thought, Marcus grabs his dog and bolts for the exit, the sound of his hurried footsteps echoing through the cave as they escape into daylight. Even now, he says he can't explain what he saw, and maybe he doesn't want to. Dre and his friend had been hanging out one evening when a series of strange noises started coming from the attic. At first, they brushed it off, thinking it might just be the wind or an old house creaking, but the sounds kept happening, louder each time. After a bit of debating, they decided to check it out for themselves. Climbing up into the dim attic, they were hit with an instant feeling of unease, like they were being watched. The air felt heavier, and both of them agreed it didn't feel right.
Alright, remember, I gotta turn this thing on here. Recorder's on.
Alright, we got the cripple.
Yeah, I'm the cripple. I'm the EVP director.
The EVP specialist. And, let's see if I can do this. Got myself, Dre. And we're up here because we heard some noises earlier. And we're trying to figure out if we can catch a little bit more. Or try to piss this thing off enough to let us know that it's here.
I heard you up here last night. Make a noise. I kept on hearing stuff in the back of the attic, on the back there on the right, like it was something hiding back there. I got it on the recorder, like all these little bangs and scratching noises. And just for the record, there's no wildlife up here. What's your name? Stop hiding and show yourself.
Give us a sign. What the hell was that?
Did you see something?
We just got something on video.
What was it?
Oh my gosh, what was that? Hang on, we gotta stop this.
What did it look like?
In the footage, the camera pans across the far end of the attic, just in time to catch a sudden movement in the shadows. Nobody else was in the house, and no one could have been hiding there without them seeing. The encounter left them certain they had just come face to face with a ghost. Michaelenko is one of those rare ghost hunters whose reputation speaks for itself. Known for his sharp instincts, unshakable composure, and years of experience investigating some of the most infamous haunted locations, he's built a name for himself as the guy who gets results. Clients trust him because he doesn't just chase shadows, he documents them with undeniable clarity. So when he was offered $500 to prove a paranormal presence in a suburban home that had been giving its owners sleepless nights, he didn't hesitate. In the footage, Mykolenko is standing well across the room, far from the old wooden cabinet in question. Without warning, the cabinet begins to shake violently, sending several objects crashing to the floor. The angle is perfect, clear, steady, and without any sign of wires or tampering. The homeowners were convinced on the spot, and true to his word, Mykolenko delivered the proof and walked away with the full $500 in hand. If you want more investigations like this, make sure to subscribe. Mykolenko will be appearing in future videos, and you don't want to miss what he uncovers next. A man was relaxing in his bedroom late at night when a sudden aggressive rattling of a nearby door jolted him upright. At first, he thought it might be the wind, or maybe someone else in the house, but the sound was too intense and frantic to be either. Grabbing his camera, he stepped cautiously out of bed, his breathing already quickening as he edged closer to the source. The footage shows him standing right next to the door as the handle shakes violently on its own. Without warning, the door swings open and then closes again, all while the handle continues to tremble as if being gripped by invisible hands. His loud, panicked breathing fills the audio, making the moment even more unsettling. After the incident, he admitted he didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next day, he began researching and reaching out to local paranormal hunters, determined to bring in someone experienced who could explain or confront whatever was in his home. Valentina was at the hospital late one evening, sitting in the hallway while her father was being treated. She had no idea that at this exact point in time, her father had already passed away. She was scrolling through her phone, trying to distract herself from the stress, when something caught her attention out of the corner of her eye.
No. Ay, no puede ser. No, mira. Es una fantasma acá, loco. No te puedo creer, la puta madre. Ay, no, lo que le parió. No.
The wheelchair her father regularly used began to roll forward completely on its own, moving smoothly across the corridor without anyone near it. Valentina froze, her fear mixing with confusion as she stared at the empty seat. Later, a nurse informed her that her father's heart had stopped just 2 minutes before the wheelchair had moved. The timing left her shaken, wondering if this was her father's way of saying goodbye. Marcos had just returned home from a long shift at work and was winding down for the night, watching TV in her room. It was quiet, the kind of stillness that usually meant nothing out of the ordinary would happen. But then she heard it, a distinct thud from just outside her bedroom door, like something heavy had fallen. At first, she thought she imagined it, but the sound was too real to ignore. Curious and a little uneasy, she grabbed her phone and started recording before going to check. She slowly opened her bedroom door and immediately spotted an object lying on the floor in the hallway, something that definitely hadn't been there before. As she processed what she was seeing, a chair further down the hall suddenly slid across the floor directly toward her, stopping just a few feet away. Marcos backed up quickly, her breathing picking up as fear set in. Later, she admitted she didn't sleep in her room that night, and was now considering having a paranormal investigator come to see what she might be dealing with. Fabian was sitting in his room watching TV when he heard the familiar sound of his dad's car pulling into the driveway. He quickly turned his head toward the window, trying to catch a glimpse of him arriving. While Fabian's attention was fixed outside, the doll on his bed shifted suddenly, moving in a way that was far from natural. Fabian had no idea. He only turned back a moment later and hurried out of the room to greet his dad. Later, his mum reviewed the security footage from his room and was left stunned by what she saw. The doll had been perfectly still before, and there was no one near it when it moved. The unsettling discovery has her seriously considering moving out before whatever caused it decides to do more. Late at night in Mexico, a family was winding down when one of them claimed to see something strange moving outside from their bedroom window. They described it as a white cloak drifting through the street. So the father decided to head downstairs and step outside to record whatever it was.
Ya, loco, graba. Míralo ahí, loco, míralo ahí. ¿Y qué es lo que está haciendo? Yo te dije, loco, se parece a Martín, loco, el que murió. Cierra la puerta. Cierra la puerta. Llama a papi. Papi, ven que aquí hay una cosa rara, yo no sé qué es. Mira, llámalo, ve. Cierra la puerta. Ay, Dios mío. Mira. Ay, Dios. Llama a papi.
In the footage, a white bedsheet-like shape can be seen floating and twisting through the air, moving in a way that didn't match any breeze. It glided across the road, almost deliberately, before disappearing into the deep shadows beside another house. The family was left unsettled, unsure if it was some elaborate prank or something far stranger. Neighbors have since been warned, but the mystery remains unsolved. Christopher Aron was walking around his daughter's bedroom, just tidying up and making sure everything was in order before bedtime. It was a quiet night, but as he moved through the room, he couldn't shake the strange feeling crawling over him. It was like the air had shifted, or as if he wasn't completely alone. Trusting his instincts, he pulled out his phone and started recording, hoping he was just being overly cautious.
Cat's downstairs. It wasn't her. I guess that's my son.
Any other signs? Can you open the other door? Can you open the other oven door? Will you open the other door? Thank you. Now I know you're here. Can I get any other sign? Any other sign at all?
In the footage, the toy oven door slowly creaked open by itself. There's no one near it, no vibrations, no obvious cause. The motion is smooth and unsettling, as if something unseen had deliberately opened it. Christopher stands still for a moment, caught off guard, then lowers the camera with a confused expression. After checking the toy thoroughly and finding nothing wrong, no loose parts or built-in springs, he steps out of the room. He replays the footage a few times in the hallway, growing more uneasy with each watch. It wasn't dramatic, but it felt too intentional to ignore. Something about that quiet, controlled movement gave him chills. He doesn't want to jump to conclusions, but he also can't forget what he saw. Whatever is happening, it's real enough to keep him on edge. Just after midnight, Leandro was lying in bed when he heard strange rustling noises coming from the back room. At first, he thought maybe something had fallen, but the sounds kept going, too sharp, too deliberate. Curious and slightly on edge, he grabbed his phone and walked over to check it out.
1 de julho de 2023. Nunca deixe sua porta aberta, ou isso vai acontecer na sua casa.
Será que é gato que tá aqui? Mexendo nas coisas? Mas não tem ninguém aqui. Ai, caramba. Acho que tem alguém aí. Que isso? Para! Que isso? Quem tá aí? Tranquei. Meu Deus, cara. Mãe.
O que tá acontecendo?
Não sei. Parece que tem alguém aqui.
Nossa, tem que parar desses vídeos aqui. Eu tô com medo já dessas coisas. Não tem ninguém que tem batendo na porta e vem aqui.
When he opened the door, the entire room was in disarray. Items were scattered all over the place, as if something had been tearing through it in a frenzy. It reminded him of the way a cat might destroy a room, but the problem was, he didn't have a cat. He stood there in silence for a moment, trying to process what he was seeing, then stepped back out and shut the door. That's when the handle began to rattle violently, like something was trying to get out. Startled, Leandro flung the door open again, but this time, the room was completely still. No movement, no sound, no sign of anyone or anything inside. He checked the back door too, just in case. It was locked, dead-bolted, no way in or out. Now he's even more unsettled than before, knowing whatever it was didn't leave through the door, if it left at all. It was just past midnight when the mother heard her baby moving around through the monitor. At first, it sounded like normal restlessness, but something about it made her uneasy. She grabbed the infant optics camera and tuned in for a better look, just to be sure everything was all right.
Okay. That's not possible. Is that the light? What the fuck is that? What is that? What is it? Look at the way. Look! It's lingering. Is it the light outside? Like, what is happening right now? There's no other light. How is this possible? Like, there's no pinhole empty. Like, the curtains, I pulled the curtains closed. You guys, what the fuck is this? And it's not leaving. It's getting near her. Oh my god. Did she just touch it? Where did it go?
On the screen, a strange glowing orb was floating slowly around the crib. It wasn't dust, and it wasn't a reflection. The light had direction, almost like it was exploring. Then it drifted closer to the baby, and just as her child reached out and touched it, the light vanished instantly, as if it had never been there at all. The mother's heart dropped. She rushed into the room but found nothing unusual, just her baby lying calmly in the crib, looking up at her. The whole thing felt surreal. She checked the camera feed again to make sure she hadn't imagined it. The footage was still there, clear as day. Some believe orbs like that are signs of spirits or lingering energy, and if that's true, she's not sure what it wanted with her child. Since that night, she hasn't left the camera off for a single second. Jason and a few of his friends were messing around inside the old county jail, a place long since shut down and barely touched. His dad knew the building manager, so getting access wasn't hard. They weren't ghost hunters, not even close. They were just teenagers filming a parody of those ghost shows, goofing around and pretending to chase spirits. Nothing serious, just laughs. But everything changed when they got back and started editing the footage.
Alright, so we're in the phase of the investigation now where everybody breaks off in their own little areas with, you know, a handy cam, and we're just sort of checking around to see if we can find anything on our own. And hopefully, you know, each one of us finds our own evidence, our own personal stories. Just sort of checking around.
In one of the shots, as Jason walks past a holding cell window, something unnatural comes into view. There's a face, clear as day, right behind the glass. It's not Jason, and it's not his friends, who were all accounted for at the booking desk behind the camera. The cell itself was locked and being used for storage. But in the frame, a man's face is pressed against the glass, like he's screaming in silence. And as Jason's body moves past the window, the face fades away like smoke. They hadn't noticed it while filming, only later. Jason swears that room was empty. He doesn't know who it was, and he doesn't really want to. Whatever they caught in that cell wasn't part of the joke. William Davies had long suspected his house was haunted, but that night he felt something more than just eerie. A cold chill made him uneasy, like something bad was about to happen. Wanting to capture whatever was causing the strange sensations, he set up his camera in the kitchen and started recording.
Shit. The fuck? Can't be normal. Take any more of this. Battery's going dead. Fucking piece of shit. What? Makes no fucking sense. Something's there. Something's definitely there. You alright, Benja? You alright? Can you send some? You can send some, can't you? They're there, aren't they? I can see you, just see you in the corner there, dog.
The footage shows the cupboard door opening all by itself. William quickly closes it, but moments later it opens again on its own. He shuts it once more, only to feel a sudden movement behind him. He turns around slowly, his heart pounding, convinced something unseen is right there. The atmosphere in the room feels heavy and filled with a dark presence. William didn't stay to find out more. He decided it was time to call in professional help to figure out exactly what was haunting his home. Whatever was there wasn't going to let him rest easy anytime soon. Wyatt's daughter suddenly started crying in the middle of the night, so he went into her room to check on her and decided to record just in case something unusual was happening.
Days like today are no fun. No fun at all.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Can I get it now?
Stay there. Come on, buddy. Yeah, you can go. All right. It's okay.
The footage shows the basement door rattling heavily on its own. Wyatt walks over and checks behind the door, but finds nothing there. Then the pantry door starts rattling the same way, and he moves back and forth between the two doors, each time finding no explanation for the noises. Feeling unsettled, he chooses to take his daughter back to her room to calm her down. After that night, Wyatt decided it was time to bring in a priest to bless the home, hoping to put an end to whatever restless presence was causing the disturbances, and finally bring some peace to his family. Whether this solution worked or not, I do not know, but all I can do is wish this family all of the luck that I can. A big family was all gathered in the living room, excited because the eldest brother had just come home and they were planning to go to the movies soon. While everyone was getting ready, one of the kids asked for some cereal from the pantry. A week later, out of curiosity, they decided to watch back some footage from that day.
Jody, what are you doing?
Waiting for you. When are we gonna go see the movie?
After we eat, we'll go to the movie. My dad is in town. Mike Webb, say hello.
Hello, say hello.
Hello, and my new mom.
Can I get something to eat?
Yes,
All right.
go for it.
Just cereal for now. And eat on the counter.
Jody, you're not feeling good? Oh, no. After the movie, you'll feel fine.
As the camera pans toward the pantry, a shadowy figure can be seen standing just inside, staring right at them. The spirit's presence was unnoticed at the time, but now it is clear something or someone was watching them that whole afternoon. The family is left shaken, but also curious about what else might be lingering in their home. They have started considering calling in a professional to investigate further, hoping to understand if the presence is harmless or something they need to take seriously. For now, they are on high alert, keeping a closer eye on the pantry and the rest of the house. The family kept noticing more strange things happening around the pantry. The main issue was that the pantry would open by itself every night it was closed when they went to sleep, but mysteriously open by morning. The eldest son decided to stay up one night and film it for himself.
Okay, it's 12:34. September 19th. Nothing so far.
In the footage, the pantry door slowly creaks open on its own again, and just as the kid reaches out to close it, a ghostly apparition appears pressed against the glass, its hands clearly visible. Shocked but determined, he quickly opens the pantry door to check if someone or something was really inside, but there was nothing there. The family is now more unsettled than ever and debating whether to bring in a specialist or try to cleanse the house themselves as they try to figure out what the spirit wants and how to safely move forward. Expert John came around to investigate, confident he would quickly prove there was nothing going on. At first, nothing happened, and he started to think the eldest son was just imagining things, but then things took a turn.
Hi, I'm John. It's day 10, 12:03 a.m. Still nothing happening.
Go. Dude. Look out. Oh my god. What the? I don't know. That's crazy. Dude. I told you. Let's get out of here. Go.
In the footage, you can hear slow, heavy breathing coming from behind the pantry door, and soon after, the same ghostly hands appear pressed against the glass again. John reaches out and actually touches them, but before he can react, a sudden face jump scares him on camera. When he opens the door, there's still nothing there. After this intense encounter, the family decided it was time to seriously consider moving out. They just couldn't live with whatever was haunting their pantry and disrupting their lives. Chris was spending a quiet evening at home when something immediately threw the vibe off. He was upstairs, just relaxing like normal, when he heard this sudden bang from downstairs, loud enough to jolt him out of his seat. Now, Chris isn't the type to jump to conclusions, but this sound wasn't like anything falling or shifting. It had weight behind it. Curiosity got the best of him, so he decided to grab his phone and check it out. As he headed down the stairs, he kept recording, just in case. That's when things took a very weird turn. On the wall in the hallway was this decorative Santa face, the kind you see hanging during the holidays. As Chris panned the camera, the Santa moved, not once but twice. It wasn't just swinging from a breeze or sliding down a nail. It tilted, paused, and shifted again. You can clearly see there's no one near it, and no windows are open. Chris was understandably shaken, and that Santa didn't stick around much longer. The day after, he burned it in the fireplace. I can't say I blame him. Festive or not, that thing had to go. Leandro had known for weeks that something in his house wasn't right, but he kept it to himself because every time he even hinted at it, people looked at him like he was insane. He wasn't about to be labeled the psycho friend, so he stayed quiet. But the longer he waited, the worse it got. And eventually, he decided enough was enough. He pulled out his phone and started recording, hoping to finally catch something on camera that could prove he wasn't just losing it.
Mais dia normal. Tem espírito preso na casa. Será que está tentando me dizer algo?
Tô ouvindo barulho aqui agora. De novo, gente, já tô cansado disso já.
Acredite se quiser.
Olha isso. Olha aqui. Olha isso, gente. Olha aqui na cozinha. Meu Deus do céu, o que é isso, velho? Olha isso. Que isso, cara? Olha isso aqui. O ventilador ligou sozinho. Olha isso. Ai, que isso? Estou com medo. O ventilador ligou, desligou. Olha isso.
In the footage, it all happens at once. His kitchen appliances started dropping all over the place. Then his standing fan moved on its own accord. And finally, a folded cloth on the counter just dropped without being touched. The room feels like it's under siege, and Leandro barely manages to hold the camera steady through it all. There's no one else there, no wires or strings, and no explanation that makes any sort of sense. It's the kind of clip you have to watch twice just to believe, and this was only the beginning, because a few days later, even more evidence was discovered. A few days after the chaos in the kitchen, Leandro decided to finally reach out to a ghost hunter. The issue was, the investigator wouldn't commit to a visit unless there was more footage to go on. So Leandro and his wife came up with a plan. They had both noticed something off about this old porcelain doll they kept in the living room. Every time they left it facing forward, it somehow ended up facing the wall. They decided to test it properly. With the camera rolling, Leandro's wife carefully turned the doll toward the lens, making sure it was clearly visible and properly positioned.
Eu comprei uma boneca de guardar sacola, mas ela não gosta que ninguém olhe para ela.
Pera, deixa eu pegar um.
Não vou ficar aqui sozinho, não. Caralho, tá caindo tudo aqui.
Deixa eu pegar aqui a vassoura pra eu ver. Parece, né?
Minha mãe foi pegar uma vassoura, dois corajosos.
Do nada aqui, sozinho em casa. E eu levei um susto, achei que eu que tava vendo coisa. A mãe foi lá pegar a vassoura pra mexer nele. Vira ela pra frente. Eu vou jogar esse troço fora, eu vou queimar. Cuidado, vira ela pra frente. Ui.
Coitada da bichinha.
Ela vira de costas toda vez que arrumava ela pra frente.
Não, vira ela pra frente. Aí. Aí.
O que você põe nela?
Como assim?
Eu tô voando.
Sei lá. O trem começou a se mexer do nada. Olha lá.
Eu tô voando aqui.
Olha lá a mão dela. Ui. Joga fora.
Para, amiga, pelo amor de Deus.
Oi. Eita, pega.
As the seconds ticked by, it slowly but clearly shifted back around to face the wall again. No human interference, No obvious triggers, just a slow and chilling movement that looked almost deliberate. This was enough to get the ghost hunter's attention. He showed up that same weekend and spent hours combing through the house. According to him, there was definitely a presence in the home, something that had become attached to a particular object, likely the doll. After a short ritual and a cleansing, the disturbances began to fade, and for now, the house has gone quiet. Victor and his friend were spending the evening at Victor's place when something strange caught their attention. They were just hanging out in the living room, not really expecting anything out of the ordinary, when Victor noticed something odd. His rug kept ending up in a slightly different position every time he looked at it. It wasn't drastic, just enough to be unsettling. After a while, curiosity got the better of him and he decided to start recording, hoping he might catch whatever was going on in action.
You the biology bros, не слышу. Она такая красивая, да?
Я вспомнил после, что нашла.
Ну, она такая красивая, в жизни такая толстая. Ну вот, в принципе, толстая.
Жесть.
Снял? Да. Охуенно. Вообще цепь большой пиздец. Прям чувствую, сука, хочется. Бывает такое. Сходи, посмотрим пизда.
Sure enough, as the camera rolls, the rug slowly drags itself a few inches across the floor without a single foot touching it. There's no breeze, no pets, and no strings. It just moves. The room is silent, but the tension in the clip is heavy. After this, Victor's friend refused to sleep on the same floor and insisted on staying upstairs for the rest of the visit. Victor ends up contacting a local medium who believes the house has residual energy attached to something beneath the floorboards. Whether they dig it up or not, we'll have to wait and see. Lorita, a mother of 3, was home with her children when she suddenly noticed signs that someone had broken into the house. Panicked, she grabbed 2 of her kids and ran outside, only to realize moments later that their youngest was still inside. Without hesitation, Lorita rushed back in, but as she tried to find her 3rd child, things took a terrifying turn. It wasn't a man in the house after all, but something else.
Come over here. Shit. Oh, what happened?
Dude, run. There's a guy inside. Run. Hey, where's your sister?
She's in her room sleeping.
She's inside?
Yeah.
Dude, look. There's a shadow right there.
What the heck?
Told you there was somebody in here. Amber, baby, come here. Amber. Dude.
No.
What's that?
The door just closed over there.
Amber. Baby, come here. Are you in here? Oh, dude. I pulled the door back.
Oh my god.
What is that?
Someone's
at the front door. What do?
Let's go to the front door, Milos.
Dude, nobody's there. No one's at the front door.
Who rang the doorbell then?
It's knocking, but there's nobody there. Dude.
There's no one there.
Should I open it?
No.
Dude, the noise is coming back. It's getting louder and louder.
Oh my. And now it's the doorbell again?
What is going on here?
The front door kept ringing as if someone was aggressively spamming the doorbell, and no matter how hard Loretta tried, the door to her youngest child's room wouldn't open. It felt like an invisible force was blocking their way, keeping them trapped from reaching the child. The fear was overwhelming. Since that night, Loretta and her family have been desperately trying to find a new place to live, hoping to escape whatever spirit has made their home its own. They're planning to move as soon as they can, because no one should have to live with something so relentless and frightening inside their own walls. A ghost hunter was offered $500 to investigate a house suspected of being haunted, and he decided to take the job. For a long time, nothing unusual happened, and he started to question whether the whole thing was just a waste of time. He debated leaving more than once, but chose to stay and keep looking for answers. Suddenly, the door in one of the rooms began rattling violently, as if something was trying to get out or in. The hunter carefully searched behind the door, but found nothing at all. No hidden compartments, no tricks, just empty space. Despite the lack of physical evidence, the eerie rattling convinced him that there was definitely some kind of presence in the house. After spending a few more hours investigating and sensing the energy shift, he concluded that the place was haunted and recommended the owners consider a spiritual cleansing. They agreed and planned to bring in specialists to help rid the house of the restless spirit.